Hi, I'm Kasia. I was a student participant in Horizons Global Challenges in 2019. And I think we will talk together with Alex about the experience of the class from my side as a participant and from Alex's side as a co-learner. But do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alex. I've been a co-learner for the Global Challenges course for a couple of years now. I guess my understanding of the co-learner role is to broadly be a facilitator as opposed to someone who just imparts knowledge, because the content of the course is broadly defined and pretty all-encompassing, so there's no way which I have really any general expertise to offer. So it's broadly about trying to facilitate the students to learn and explore and research for themselves. So I think that's quite a key difference between being a co-learner and a GTA. So as a result, you just have to interact with students in quite a different way. I don't know if that's what you found as well, Kasia.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. At first, I didn't realize that there was something between instructors and participants. So I think I only got the idea on like the second class maybe. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely a different approach than with the instructors, as it was friendlier and like much more relaxed. So we mostly just kind of like talked and definitely felt like we were both participating in the class, as opposed to the instructors who were still more of people who told us what kind of tasks we're supposed to complete. So that's like the main difference for me, and something that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, the difference is definitely the fact that you're joining in really. So you take part in the group as a co-learner, not a instructor, but you sort of, I guess the main role is to just sort of guide the group a little bit, using just by virtue of just being a PhD student and being a bit older, you just have these meta skills you don't quite realize you do have until you notice that your group is like spending hours and hours, you know, fiddling around with the font size, and then I think you realize that, oh, okay, you have to guide them away from that. So it's about using that sort of those skills you don't quite realize you do have to just make everything run a bit more smoothly as a group. But you're really just joining in the whole project, which is kind of fun, kind of interesting.
Yeah.
There's definitely a difficulty where sometimes you feel like you're doing too much and just running the whole thing, but then other times you just feel completely useless, and that's just an inherent part of being a co-learner, and just it's fine.
Well, so from my perspective, it was very useful whenever any co-learner came up to the group and like helped, not even helped, or just asked what we're doing and kind of commented. That was always very helpful. I never felt like it was too much. Sometimes I wasn't sure whether it's okay to approach all the co-learners or if they're like assigned to groups. So I definitely think that being like very participative and like open and coming out to the groups, it really helped. And it felt like having a mentor, but also like another student to cooperate with.
It's an interesting experience to do, and I think it's probably quite experienced to work with a co-learner, but it's definitely a useful way to expand your teaching experiences. And you learn a lot from just doing it, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, how did you find like cooperating with the students? Did you find that they were responsive and they kind of found your comments useful and wanted to cooperate, or how was it from your perspective?
Uh, Sometimes, it's definitely a mix. Sometimes you suggest something, and you just get looked at like a rabbit in the headlights. But that's just generically true with being a GTA or a co-learner, and you have no idea whether something's going in. Sometimes people overcorrect, like they think whatever you say is just like the truth with a capital T. So yeah, I guess it kind of depends. I think all you can do is offer suggestions, and I think people definitely initially think you have the answers, but there's no such thing as the answers generally, and no, we don't have the answers. So that takes a while for the students to get used to, I think. I don't know if you found that.
Yeah, I did sometimes feel like you have the answers. That's true. That's something I didn't realize, but definitely there was like because it was hard to kind of tell whether you act more of as a student or maybe as a teacher. So this kind of it really depended on how the co-learner was and how they approached you and how they just talked. So it varied from co-learner to co-learner. Some of you were more like very confident in what they said, and it sometimes felt like it is something that we should include, and that's like a feedback and something that we should change about the presentation. So it did sometimes feel like that, but very often it was just like friendly advice that we can use, but we don't have to. So it depended on whether the co-learners stressed that or not really.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
Cool.
Do you have any other?
No, I think that's mostly it. That sort of covered everything.
Okay. Thanks for listening.